So as of late, I have been completely enthralled by Danny Boyle's work. Not in a weird or creepy way, but enough to where I feel the need to make a video about it. To me, Danny Boyle's sort of a director that kind of slips through the woodwork in a lot of ways. In a good way, he's sort of separated himself from his work. Yeah, there might be a few cues here and there throughout his films to let you know he's there, but not in abundance to the point where it throws you out of the movie, you know? Tarantino does that, and don't get me wrong, I love Tarantino, but all of his movies are very stylized and very Tarantino. I wouldn't say over-stylized, but when you're watching a Tarantino film, it is very clear that you're watching a Tarantino film. What I mean is that Boyle lets the film do the talking rather than talking through the film, if you know what I mean. Anyone can write a zombie movie or situational drama, but not many can keep you there for 2 hours straight, right? He just has this natural gift to remove himself and the crew from the film and make the audience kind of get lost in his work. That's what a director does, and that's what a director should do. But no film does it better than Boyle's masterpiece. Filmed on the mean streets of Glasgow and based off the 1993 book written by Irvin Welsh by the same name, Trainspotting is nothing less than a cinematic masterpiece, to put it bluntly. The book was written after the heroin epidemic in Scotland and Ireland in roughly the mid to late 80s. Trainspotting was a low-budget film produced by Channel 4 Films and directed by Danny Boyle. Why do I say this is his best movie? Because it is. Every shot in this film is an absolute masterclass. He manages to make characters that are the most broken, far-gone drug addicts that have ever been presented in film, who do illegal and inhumane things to fuel their addiction, but we still manage to empathize with them. And I think this was Danny Boyle's goal all along, and he certainly accomplished it. What Boyle and Welsh were trying to say all along is that everyone has their own heroin. Though it may not come in the form of a needle, we all have our own means of escapism. Whether it be doom scrolling, binge watching mind-numbing TV, or overthinking ourselves to exhaustion, the message is clear. Addiction isn't just about substances, it's about dependency. Boyle and Welsh don't glorify heroin, but they don't demonize Mark and his crew either. They show them as humans, flawed, desperate, and real. That's what makes Trainspotting such a powerful film. The way Boyle directs his film is unlike any other. He doesn't just show you the plummeting, he makes you feel it as well. He throws you into the chaotic, surreal, and namely disgusting world of these characters. Another thing to understand with Trainspotting is the main character's motives and overall underlying attitudes. The Scots are known for their rebellious tendencies towards the English and any power bigger than themselves. As somebody who grew up with a Scottish background, I can wholeheartedly say that most Scots truly believe that they live in a colony. Many believe they live by the mercy of the United Kingdom and can do nothing or little to change anything. Philosophy and Film wrote an article in 2014 saying, "In the decades following this union, a global image appeared depicting the Scots as a rural, cozy, and easygoing people. However, the Scottish people have been in a state of quiet dissatisfaction that only worsened with the onset rebellious youth and countercultures of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This dissenting grumbling is most evident when one of Mark's friends, Tommy, gets dumped by his girlfriend and takes the gang out to the Highlands. Looking at the beautiful landscape, Tommy asks, 'Doesn't it make you proud to be Scottish?' To which Renton replies, 'It's shite being Scottish. We're the lowest of the low, the scum of the fucking earth, the most wretched, miserable, servile, pathetic trash that has ever shat into civilization. Some hate the English. I don't. They're just wankers. We, on the other hand, have been colonized by wankers. Can't even find a decent culture to be colonized by. We're ruled by effete assholes. It's a shite state of affair to be in, Tommy, and all the fresh air in the world won't make any fucking difference.' Mark's friends have nothing to say about this, as they are both in agreement. Mark's speech perfectly summarizes the Scottish view of colonization. While Mark Stacey doesn't actually hate the English, he shows vigor dissatisfaction towards them, saying he's in a shite state of affairs that Britain has allowed the Scottish to fall into. The reaction to his speech is just as significant, as his friends remain silent, staying back. Tommy, the sensitive, laid-back depiction of a Scot, is literally killed by the film itself later on, by finally folding to heroin brought on by the crumbling system they live in. The movie literally kills the false depiction. This is a key component to understanding the underlying feelings of the characters in Trainspotting. These feelings finally burst out of Mark towards one of his friends, which shows his inner turmoil quite vividly. Later in the film, when Mark decides to move to London and abandon his life in Edinburgh, we see Mark Renton finally get his life back. We see that he's just a normal guy. He's not evil or bad or even a horrible person. He's merely the product of the rotting society around him, which has corrupted the minds of him and his friends. Mark even says later in the film that he cares deeply for his comrades, but knows that they aren't good for him, and that they remain a black hole of pain for him. I could go way deeper into the philosophy of this movie, but all in all, I think you can see why I call this Danny Boyle's best film. It's beautifully shot, the message cuts deep, and also the outfits they wear are totally heat, and the music is baller. I can make a whole video on the music just alone, but for time's sake, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for watching, everybody, and make sure to like and subscribe for more.